Hello, infidels, and welcome to Cowboys Imperial Report, the bye week, part 3. Now, I wrote this on August the 3rd, 2007 at 3 in the morning. And I wrote it on the blogs. The link below is the exact link where you can go and find it. We'll leave it up for a few moments so you can write it down. But I'll begin. Inevitably, this documentary on one of Dallas's legendary number 88s had to show his final play. Michael Irvin was known for running the slant, and by Jove, he punctuated a triple Super Bowl career with a slant. Down into the concrete turf, the front of Irvin's helmet went wham! The last son of Landry went paralyzed for a few moments. And during this time, which seemed to the playmaker to exist for an eternity, America got to judge which was harder, the playing surface at Veterans Stadium or the hearts of the Philadelphia Eagles fans. Michael Irvin could not move his legs. He could not move his arms. The anemic sign that warded away the spirits of quadriplegia was the soft movements from heroic hands that caught so many passes, won so many games, and wore 3 Super Bowl rings, more than these fans would know. As a Cowboys fan who is filling in the gaps of his own personal history of the Dallas Cowboys, I've heard my beloved Cowboys fans refer to this ugly incident at Veterans Stadium on October 10th, 1999. All I heard was Irvin got hit, couldn't move, and the Philly fans cheered. That's all I knew. But when I saw the footage of that hit, the footage of a strong warrior crippled, and imagine the cheers of thousands of soulless illegitimi who prove evolution by devolving themselves, my heart filled with murder at that point. If I were in the same room as one of those who cheered, I would have beat them senseless. And I wouldn't have discriminated by sex either. Football, while it may be life, is a game. And the game suspends when life itself is threatened, which it was at that moment in the autumn of 1999. With the career-ending injury of Michael Irvin, it signified the passing of the torch in essence. The Dallas Cowboys, with the soul of the triplets gone, abdicated their NFC East throne to the Philadelphia Eagles. While the New York Giants may have won the division in 2000, the Eagles finished 11-5 and were on the precipice of subjugating the NFC East. From 2001 to 2004, the Eagles won the division and made 4 consecutive conference championship appearances. The gap was wide between the Eagles and the rest of the competition. It all became narrower and narrower in 2004 when the Eagles picked up one Terrell Owens, a protege and good friend of Michael Irvin. Yes, this was the year the Eagles went to the Super Bowl and McChoked, but it was the decline of the Eagles' empire, and it was commencing. It began when McNabb couldn't suck it up and run with the big boys, and his greatest ally called it like he saw it. Tensions grew between the dominant wideout and the bridesmaid quarterback. Ultimately, Barabbas McNabb was chosen to go free as Terrell Owens was driven out of the city gates. Isn't it interesting how Michael Irvin sort of indirectly dissolved the once great Eagles offense? McNabb was suffering from a sports hernia during this tumultuous time. With his biggest foe eschewed, McPolitics found a new swagger. After losing to the Redskins on ESPN Sunday Night Football, it almost seemed as if McNabb himself, with the legions of stupefied, moronic, filthy fans behind him, extended his hand and taunted the Dallas Cowboys to come forth and receive their whipping on ABC Monday Night Football on November 14th, 2005. It was a hard-fought game, that's for sure. The Eagles had put up 20 points, but the Cowboys would not go gently into that good night. After a Dallas score, McNabb sauntered onto the grass turf, specifically installed for T.O., at Lincoln Financial Stadium to put the Cowboys away like he was always used to. Getting too cocky, McNabb thought he could beat the cover 3. That's when it began. Roy Williams represented Alaric in that infamous sacking of Rome in 410 A.D., and Donovan McNabb played the part of Emperor Honorius. Roy Williams sacked Filthy by picking off that ill-advised pass and taking it to the house for a pick 6. But the most significant action in that hallowed chaos was Brady James rolling McNabb into the dirt. It wasn't the symbol of the end. No. Brady James rolling McNabb did ruin his season and the Eagles' season in 2005. But it was merely a vision of what was to come. Just as the sacking of Rome in 410 was not the end of Rome, it was a sign that the empire would fall, and it did in 476. The Eagles flexed their muscles in 2006 with Jeff Garcia taking over for an again injured McFlab. But it was as threatening as a man buried in an anthill, yelling and barking at the birds of prey circling him. It was the final gasps of a hellacious behemoth that terrorized the NFC East for 6 long years. But all in all, it was ultimately an act of finality, not of consistency. Michael Irvin will be avenged, my fellow Cowboys fans. We do not need to take to the streets and lynch Eagles fans. We do not need to go flame these scurrying bottom feeders that seek asylum on our own fan zone. We don't even need to write jokes about the filthy dumpy Eagles. Their reign is over. On November 4th of this year, on NBC Sunday Night Football, before millions of observers, the Dallas Cowboys will rightfully take back the NFC East, which is a God-given right bestowed on them in the divine right of America's team. It's not going to be a simple contest decided by field goals. No, my fellow Cowboys fans. It's going to be decided at the coin toss. The Eagles captains, trotting out to midfield in their traditional green uniforms, they'll meet the Cowboys wearing their glorious, victorious white uniforms. The Eagles captains will see the fire in the Cowboys' eyes, and it will chill them more than the frigid, filthy air. When those Eagles see their captains come back to the sidelines, they're going to wonder why they look so pale. Only when Keith Davis lays out Brian Westbrook on his own 17-yard line on the opening kickoff will the Philadelphia Eagles and their fans come to realize that the Dallas Cowboys have taken back the NFC East on this very night. And in doing so, they have brought justice upon those who cheered at the grievous injury of Michael Irvin. And when Terrell Owens lights them up and sends the fans leaving in disgust by halftime, the ones remaining will realize that's not T.O. getting revenge on Filthy. It's Michael Irvin getting justice at last. Conscious Affection at yahoo.com. I'll see you on Friday.